President Biden's son is the big story today. His son is set to appear in federal court today in Delaware for a hearing on his proposed plea deal. Now, under the agreement, Hunter Biden would avoid prison by pleading guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax charges. He would also avoid prosecution on a separate gun charge. Catherine Herridge is following all of this for us from just outside of the courthouse. Catherine, good morning.
Good morning. Since the plea deal was announced in June, 2 IRS whistleblowers have come forward alleging Hunter Biden got preferential treatment, and they believe the evidence supports more serious charges. His legal team insists the 5-year probe was thorough, and now a Delaware judge will have her say.
Hunter Biden will appear in Delaware federal court today before Trump-appointed Judge Mary Ellen Noreika, who will have the chance to either reject or accept the deal.
In this case, I expect the judge to kick the tires a little bit on this plea agreement.
3 charges were filed in June, 2 misdemeanor counts of willful failure to pay federal income tax, and a third count, possession of a handgun by a drug user, would be dismissed if Biden remains drug-free and commits no additional crimes for 2 years. Tom Dupree is a former senior Justice Department official.
This judge has wide discretion. She has to satisfy herself that accepting this plea agreement is in the best interest of the United States.
David Weiss, the U.S. attorney in Delaware who led the probe, has told Congress twice he had the ultimate authority on the case.
Yes, I do.
This month, 2 IRS whistleblowers testified to Congress. Their probe was blocked and claimed the evidence supported felony tax charges. The IRS case agent sat down with CBS News.
Are you asking the Justice Department to take a pause on the plea agreement?
This is up to the U.S. attorney who brought the charges, David Weiss, and it's up to the judge to make that decision. But at the end of the day, it's a matter of, are we treating everyone the same? Are we treating all taxpayers the same?
And in this case?
And in this case, no, I don't think so.
But Democrats are pushing back on the claims of preferential treatment.
There is no evidence that Hunter Biden has received any kind of official favoritism in this prosecution for being Joe Biden's son.
It's not clear whether Hunter Biden's legal problems will end with the plea agreement. The U.S. Attorney David Weiss has said the investigation is ongoing. Weiss could testify on Capitol Hill in late September after the congressional recess. House Republicans would like to hear from him much sooner. Anne-Marie?
All right, Catherine, thank you very much. So for more analysis on this case, I want to bring in CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson. All right, Jessica, so what I gather is that the judge in this case has tremendous discretion, that though a plea deal has been agreed upon, the judge really has the final say here.
That's exactly right. But for most plea deals, it depends on the judge. But I don't want to say it's a rubber stamp, but it's often quite close in the sense that 2 opposing sides who know all the evidence have already come together and agreed that this is what they will agree to. This is the settlement, essentially. And as we heard in Catherine Herridge's reporting, I think it is correct that this judge will look under the hood a little bit, not just because that this is highly publicized, but because I think the judge wants to make sure, is this in the interest of justice? You look at the defendant, you look at the defendant's criminal history, you look at the severity of the allegations here, and you look at what was ultimately agreed upon. I think the judge, even though there have been some strangeness in the case just over the last 20 hours, I think the judge ultimately will accept the plea deal, as almost every judge does in the end.
And then, so if she does, what happens next?
So if she does, what happens next is, in this particular case, part of the agreement is that Hunter Biden has to stay drug-free and out of any sort of legal problems for 2 years, and then those gun possession charges are dropped. He's part of a diversion program. So this case will continue, at least with respect to that diversion program, for 2 years. As we also heard in the reporting, the U.S. attorney here, who was appointed by the former President Trump, has said that the investigation continues. So we don't know if this is the end or if there's anything else that could, if there's another plea deal that could arise. I will say this is the product of about a half-decade investigation. Reporting indicates that in arriving at this plea deal, that it was extremely contentious, almost like 2 sides of very complex civil litigation. So I think that at this point, both sides knew what was on the table, and this is what they ultimately could agree to.
I want to ask you about something else that was sort of like a little bit of a hiccup here. Last night, the judge in the case accused a member of Biden's legal team of misrepresenting herself. Could you tell me a little bit more about that and whether or not that can make things worse for him?
It could. This is truly bizarre. So Hunter Biden is represented by a very well-known and highly regarded firm called Latham and Watkins. And apparently there was a member of the firm who called the court clerk. Now, she has said, the member of the firm, I did not misrepresent who I was. I did not misrepresent who I work for. The caller ID from the firm shows Latham that the court clerk knows which firm represents which side. And I asked that a filing by the House Republicans that contained confidential information about Hunter Biden be taken down from the court's docket. The court clerk apparently reported to the judge that the attorney who called her misrepresented who she was, lied, and said that she was actually an attorney for the House Republicans and for the firm representing them. I don't know how to emphasize how strange this is, but the judge said, basically, come in tomorrow and I need to know why I wouldn't impose sanctions for this apparent misrepresentation. I'm expecting that this is the type of thing that could be sorted out this morning, but it's very strange. And of course, on top of the strangeness of the House Republicans submitting this kind of friend of the court brief to say, well, Hunter Biden got preferential treatment and that this plea deal was a result of basically political pressure.
You know what? Before I let you go, I do want to ask you about that, this friend of the court brief. Forgive me, because I'm obviously not an attorney, so I don't know things like standing, but can anyone sort of be a friend of the court and submit, concerns about an issue?
No, that's a great question. I mean, no need to ask for forgiveness. So that is a really important question. That was part of the issue here, which is, do House Republicans have any standing? They were allowed to submit this. And friend of the court briefs obviously have a different standard when it comes to whether or not you're a party versus a friend of the court. But it is difficult to see how House Republicans have the type of, and Anne-Marie, you and I have talked about this, but the type of specific injury that was caused by the alleged government action that could be redressed by the court that you need in order to submit these types of friend of the court briefs. Again, judges can be more lax when it comes to an amicus brief, and it looks like that is what happened here.
Interesting. Jessica Levinson, thank you so much.
Thank you.